Of my Let's Drive thing of the Reiza Touring Car Classics. If you haven't watched part 1 already, watch part 1, link is in the description. Roll tape. So, that's the Copa Classic cars done with. Now we move to the Copa Fusca. Modern regional series for Fusca, or Beetle enthusiasts. The cars run on radial road tyres, so this is very much a run what you brung series. Run to spec regulations, and yeah, it looks pretty much just like a stock Beetle that's been dropped and had a couple of ungodly things done to it. I have driven these, I drove these in the beta, but I'm still prepared to be underwhelmed after after driving the FL Fusca. How's that for a short first gear? Not even to 50 kilometers an hour. Oh god. That dropped to 4th gear. Well, let's see how it goes. I don't think I've actually driven this car at this track before. Okay. Oh, it's on radial road tyres, alright. It's often a stereotypical thing for when you're driving a car in real life or in sim racing to say it drives like a boat. This thing drives like a dinghy going down rapids. I am afraid to brake too late. You can I'm doing maintenance throttle coming into a lot of these turns. Fuck me. God. Alright, into 4th gear. Come on. Get the rotation going. Pretend you're driving a Porsche. Ah, yeah, it feels pretty good. Oh, until you have to get on the brakes and slow down, and it just comes around on you. Oy-vey. Oof. Alright. Judging from the vibrations in the steering wheel, I undoubtedly flat-spotted those tyres. Let's see how it goes at full kip into turn 1. Okay, I locked the brakes. I had to go into 2nd gear. This thing is geared so weirdly. Oh, God, it does not like those curves. I'm struggling to keep this thing going. Like, it seems to like wandering in a straight line. And in the turns, God, it is very Porsche in a sense. Because you get to the apex of the corner, and if you just stay off the throttle and leave it to do its own thing, it will go around. Oh, come on, maintenance throttle. Guide you through that turn. Just lift off the throttle a bit. Give it a bit more front end. There we go. I am holding it. About 3rd throttle and then full. Oh my god, this engine is gutless. Am I taking this turn too slow? I think I am. Oh. I don't know what is understeer and what is oversteer in this car. It seems to change the definitions of the laws of physics from corner to corner, and I love it. Oh, there I go, trying to shift into 5th gear. Down into 3rd. Not locking the brakes this time. Nice and smooth on the throttle. Yeah. Bit of oversteer. Sure, let's take a bit of grass. Alright. Left foot brake. guide it through the turn, right foot brake, heel toe into third, and ooh, doesn't like these long turns, making me wince. It's so gutless. Oh my god. Oh, I forgot to brake. Oh fuck. Holy crap. Watching this thing go through these fast turns, it's super low for a Beetle, and it has no tyres. Like, look at it as it comes over this crest. Those tyres are almost non-existent. They're like pre-1960s Grand Prix tyres. It's a little insane. Not much pitch change under brakes though, so obviously there is some firmness to the suspension. But does this thing even have suspension to speak of? It's a Beetle. It's like one of the most basic cars. Oh, let's see how that goes. Oh, that's a cool shot. I like that. Well, I suppose if you're into your historic Grand Prix machinery and stuff like that, you'll like this. And the Copa Uno. So, this is... based on popular 1990s a street car stripped down to the basics, running on road tires. So, low power, low grip. Question is, will this be any different? Ooh, topping out at 52 in first. Will this be any different to the Class B Uno? Well, first thing I'm noticing is that I have a little bit of extra head protection on the top of the windscreen, so I suppose that's nice. Oh, what is grip? Oh, ooh, Jesus. Yeah, we want to let go of the wheel through that turn in this car. Oh, and the moment you get off the throttle, the rear end gets a mind of its own. Ah, feeling alright through this turn. Get on the throttle again. Keep it to the ripple strip, just nice and easy. Thank you very much. Okay, so at least this thing, it's predictable in its unpredictability. The moment I get off the throttle here, coming into turn 1, let's brake just before the 100 marker. Into third gear. Just turn in nice and gently. The car rotates a little bit, get on the throttle. Yeah, that felt alright. Hand is getting pounded through that chicane. But watch this. When I get on the throttle through here, oh, you need to keep a bit of maintenance throttle there, because the rear end just goes, nope, see you later. I'm done here, I'm not getting paid enough. And I mean, this car, for online racing, would probably be excellent. It's a lot like the Skippy in iRacing, or the Formula V in AMS. Low power, low grip, it's on road tyres, requires quite a bit of hustling and knowledge of throttle control. And when you mess up, you really mess up. Alright, go on, down the front stretch. What do you got for me? 150 kilometers an hour across the start-finish line at 1 minute 45, so pretty close to the Beetle, actually. Oh my god, this thing is gutless! Oh, I can't say the same about the rear end, though. Oh, okay, over the bank we go. Alright, I think that counts as a retirement. Yeah, so wow, this is about as bog standard as you can get. And it's very different to what most sim racers are exposed to in terms of front-wheel drive cars. The front-wheel drive cars that we often drive in our sims are sequential. You know, they have a few electronics, at least some ABS. This thing, It's from the 1980s. It has no ABS. It's H-pattern manual shift. So it's a very different approach to what I suppose a lot of sim racers are used to in terms of front-wheel drive cars. And yeah, I mean, trying to hustle this thing in a field of like 40 cars would probably be a riot. Right, so we move on from the Copa cars and to the hot cars. Apparently this was a series in Brazil in the 1980s that used these cars. I tried doing some Google searches, I couldn't find anything, so I guess I'll have to take it as they are here. This is a very nice looking Beetle. It's got some bodywork chopped off, slick tyres, exhaust pipes that extend the length of the car by about a mile. My kind of Beetle. Right, a hot car series. Volkswagen Beetle, or Fusca. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, this is sequential. Holy shit, yes. Yes, it's sequential. But it looks like you do have to lift and blip. But nonetheless, God, left foot braking for days, please. Let's see how this goes. Yep, give the throttle a good stab under the brakes. Oh, feels a bit stiffer than the Copa Fusca car. But it feels roughly similar to the... Whoops, sorry. Whoa, careful, careful. Feels roughly similar to the Copa Classic FL Beetle. Of course, this thing doesn't have any downforce generating devices, so it feels a little more wild through these fast corners. I'm just struggling to keep the front end in check, sorry. One thing that I am noticing, actually, as I go through these sweepers, I'm trying to keep it turned. I suppose I need to be a bit more gentle on the fronts in this car, but it feels like through most of the medium to fast speed turns on this track, the front's chattering a little bit, like you can feel it sort of skipping across the road a little. How's turn one? Oh, a little bit of over rotation. Up we go, boys. Whoop, whoop, ah. I love that. I feel like I'm just on the verge of crashing, but I never actually do. That's the best feeling. Okay, keep it nice and easy through there. Felt like I was taking advantage of the fronts nicely, loading them up well. Down into second gear, maintenance throttle, more brake, over rotate, spin, half spin, recover. A typical day in the life of an average Australian sim racer who doesn't really know what he's doing half the time. You really need to get a feel for when the car is going to rotate. Got to time it so that happens pretty much right at the apex so you can stab on the throttle. Take advantage of that to get a good exit. But, oh, this car. It feels as though, like, it's almost out of control. But just almost. Oh. It's a challenge, to be sure. Easy now. But I like it. I think so far, this hot car Beetle might be my favorite car in the entire pack. Oh. And obviously I need a bit more practice. God, look at that thing. Look at how wide those tires are. fuck, that is a cool car. It doesn't look like a race car, does it? It doesn't look like it should be on a racetrack. It almost looks like a caricature of a hot rod out of some 1950s poster. But it feels so right. Oh, that's a pleasure to watch. I could just sit here all night and watch this car going around a track. It's that nice. Unfortunately, I have 2 more cars that I need to drive. The first of which is the Goal. Front-wheel drive, boxer-engined Volkswagen with the 4-speed shifter. Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on. 4-speed. All the other Golfs were 5-speed, so this one's a bit special, probably. Maybe. I don't know. 780 kilos. This thing is light as a feather. Alright. Hot car Golf. Let's see how this one goes. Back to the H shifter for this one. Of course, I don't have an H shifter, nor do I require one, so I am just using my usual shifting setup. Button on the front, paddle on the back to shift up and down. Oh damn. Okay. Dancing on the rears a little bit. Dancing on the fronts, I suppose. How would you put that? I have no idea. Everything's so backwards in front-wheel drive cars. Oh yeah. You really are... Cool, with this thing, I feel like I'm really guiding it. Not so much in terms of being careful, but more just... I feel like I'm balancing it more than the other cars, and particularly more than the other Golfs. It's got a lot more of a sensitivity to it, I suppose. Like, it feels really controllable, actually. And I suppose... there I go, proving myself wrong again. Rolls a bit, understeers a bit, yeah. This thing on the throttle is a little bit of a nightmare, but it's still pretty good. And actually, is that the highest top speed I've reached all night? I have no idea. But I feel like in this car, the off-throttle oversteer is still there. It's still there, but it's there in a way that's helpful. Like, most of these front-wheel drive cars, they will snap on you, and it just ends up being annoying if you're not willing to put in the time and effort to learn how to combat that. But this Golf, it's got that oversteer, but you can harness it. See, look at that right there. That felt magnificent, actually. Oh, come on. Come on. Get back on the track. Thank you. Yeah, wow. This thing's quick. And only 4 gears on this thing, so... You haven't got much to work with, but at least around Santa Cruz, it feels like the gearing works well. Come on. Yeah, see right there. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Single peggers. Open diffs on these cars. Not entirely desirable, but that's the way they are. You gotta drive to them. And this thing looks mean. It looks ready to go. There's no headlights, no nothing. It's just a radiator on the front. That's how you like your modified road cars. Oh, looks pretty stiff too. How's it go through here? Let's have a look. Yeah, woo. And that right there, that's what I'm talking about. I was able to harness that oversteer and control it a bit more. It didn't just go 90 degrees sideways and I was left to pick up the pieces. The car worked with me. Look at that. Like, it looks so racy. Awesome car. I really enjoyed that. And finally, the Passat hot car. This thing looks like the FL Passat without the big fuck-off rear wing, and with the front headlight assembly taken out. So, I'm looking forward to this. Right. Final car of the video, the hot car Passat. Didn't spin the wheels like I thought I was going to. Let's see how this thing goes. Into turn one, come on. Oh, yeah. Feels like it has a bit too much power, but that could just be cold tires. I feel like once the tires heat up a little... Oh, whoa, bit of oversteer. Probably wasn't communicated all that much on the in-car feed, but felt like I had a really big moment. Okay, yep, get on the throttle a little bit too spiritedly, and that happens. So I feel like this thing's a little bit different from the other Passats, in that maybe the power is a teensy bit too much for the chassis. Feels like it's struggling to get that power down in a way that makes sure the car is still turning. God, hitting that curb really smashes your teeth out in a virtual sense. Come on. Less inside wheel spinning, thank you. I would really appreciate that. Oh, am I gonna make it? Yes, I am. Nice and smooth. I don't know how to take that turn. I'm just bullshitting. Yeah, wow. Okay, understeer city, this Passat. Easy now. Having to use second gear out of the last turn. Still, another lap time in the 34s. I'm happy with that. This thing's geared pretty long as well. Only just getting to fourth at the end of the straight. This thing's a challenge. Oh, big challenge. Oh. Yeah, there's that snappiness. Well, in all honesty, after driving the Beetle and the Golf, this is underwhelming me slightly. I don't know if it's like rose-tinted glasses when it comes to me driving the other Passats available in this pack, or just me getting spoilt by the Golf, which is about as cooperative as you'd want a front-wheel drive race car to be. But this one, really not feeling it as much. Maybe I'm just being too aggressive on the throttle. Maybe I'm just driving it a bit too hard, but definitely feels like it's lacking something in the chassis department, which, you know, is not a reflection on Reiza's work, obviously. If this is an accurate simulation of what the car is like, then, you know, they've done an absolutely fantastic job. But, yeah, I don't know, I suppose after that, it ends on a bit of an underwhelming note with this hot car Passat. That's just my opinion, though. Give it a try, you might like it. Yeah, I don't know, I suppose, like... It's like the FL Passat without, you know, that little something, if you know what I mean. But still, like, if you want a challenge, this is a really good car to go for. In fact, all of these cars are really good for a challenge, just to hurdle them around these Brazilian tracks. It's an absolutely awesome job on the pack, Reiza, really. I don't really know what more to say. I feel like sim racing needs more content like this. And I know that people are gonna... People have been hanging shit on Reiza for a long time for focusing on obscure content in their sims. But in my experience, from the moment GameStop Car 2010 came out, you know, 6-7 years ago, that's what I found appealing about Reiza and their particular focus, is they concentrate on what makes an individual country's motorsport special. And though they might branch out into more worldly categories like, you know, F1, V8 supercars, Formula 3, what have you, when they bring out the stuff like this, I think that's where this sim really shines. And I just think it's a real shame that more people don't see it that way, because these cars will provide some of the most challenging driving and fun racing that you'll ever experience. Going to things like GT3, where, you know, everybody's there, everybody's driving that, but going here to cars like this Passat, that shitty little Fiat Uno Cup, that Beetle with the big huge rear wing, that Golf that just responds to everything I do. That's where sim racing is its most enjoyable for me. I'll get off my soapbox now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you like this little review, I suppose, of Reiza's pack. If you got a season pass for Automobilista, it's free. Otherwise, it's $5.99 US on Steam. And consider subscribing to me if you like. I mean, I've been a bit lean on content lately due to real life circumstances, but I do want to get more content out and just continue entertaining people. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm SouthPawRacer. I'm a sim racer. I make videos about that and other stuff. I will see you at the first corner. Goodbye.